How's it going? This is James P. White from 95. Oh, I'm not from 95.7 Cruise FM anymore. This is actually kind of funny. My name is James P. White. I used to be from 95.7 Cruise FM. That is Chris Mooney. We are the Bald and Short of It podcast. He's bald, I'm short, and we're doing a podcast. And, we always like to start out our podcast with something simple. It's simple, easy, straightforward is how was your week? Mooney, let's start with you.
Well, I had a great weekend. Week was pretty standard since the last time we talked. Um, not too much to brag about. I did my best brisket. Oh no, I'll let you comment on that. But Friday I was smoking a brisket for Saturday. Cause so not to get into too much detail, but I smoke it for 12 hours, and then I wrap it and keep it on the grill for 3 hours at higher heat, and then I put it in a cooler, and it's a process. And the last time I did it, it was pretty good. You had that,
Oh, yeah.
and it was pretty good, but it wasn't perfect. And then this was like my sixth time doing it, and I felt like I really got it this time. But um,
You
what was
you
cool?
did. Like I've participated in at least four of them, and I'd
Yeah,
have to say this was probably the best. I probably had your brisket uh more than anybody else that like that you've like consistently. I think I've been to more of them, so I think I've even had more than your woman has. And
yeah, probably.
you know,
But
I'm not
yeah,
saying
no.
I'm not.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm not saying that I spend more time with you than your woman does, but it's
No,
just
thank God.
yeah, I'd be insane. Um,
Um,
but
that that so uh uh I didn't want to run out of pellets during the overnight period, so I thought, okay, well, if I go to bed a little later, um uh I won't run out of pellets because I'll go to bed at like say 2, and then wake up at 6 and I'll be good to go, because they don't always go in the hopper like in the auger. I won't get into it, but and then just after midnight, while I was kind of settling in to watch something for 2 hours, read my book or whatever, Kieran called me, and him and his buddy Mateo came over, so we got to hang out a little bit, which was a nice little kickoff to the weekend. And then
but
Sunday, my
just so listeners know, Kieran's your son. Like
yes,
you,
that's right.
you got you got to remember that we're not just this isn't just you and me chatting.
Yeah, yeah,
We're speaking to the people that are watching our podcast. So yes, Kieran is your son,
yeah.
and so
Media
the people
attention.
know.
Thanks, Jimmy. Um, anyways, Kieran, he came over. It was nice to have a catch up with the two of them. Um, and yeah, so I did all of this was in preparation for my good buddy Chris Cozy, coming in from Japan. I know him since we're 5. We played on the same soccer team, and then we were roommates in the fraternity house, um, and then he went to Japan for pretty much most of his adult life. So he comes to visit his folks once a summer for a few weeks, and I always make sure I catch up with him. So it was kind of nice to be able to do that. Lost the brisket, and you came
Yeah.
over, but it was a nice night, and it was always a bunch of laughs. And of course my buddy Howie too, my pledge brother from our fraternity, and Jimmy joined us, and Andrea. So it was a nice little get together, anyways.
And I was as you said, I was invited, and you really pushed me into going. Okay, you gotta ask Cozy. If he really did date his cousin, and because as soon as I walked in, I was apprehensive of saying anything, and you kept winking at me, going, "Jimmy, weren't you gonna ask him something? Jimmy, do you have something to ask Cozy?" And I'm like, okay. Look, and you were being kind of underhanded about it, but I wasn't going to ask your friend if he dated his cousin, and then I did, and
You're not supposed to ask. You're supposed to tell him. Oh, I remember. I heard about you. You're the guy that dated his cousin. Like, it's as
yeah,
simple as that. And like, just a quick background so we don't bury Cozy here, but um, when you live with a bunch of fellows in the fraternity house, inevitably you're gonna see a girlfriend, from time to time, or a girl who stays over more than once. And when I mean, Cozy introduced me to her, but then I saw her like a week later in the kitchen for breakfast. I was making breakfast, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Hey, by the way, how did you meet Cozy?" And she says, "Family reunion." And I'm like, "Come again?" like, like, and it turns out that they're like distant third cousins or whatever. But you know how it is. It's like gloves are off when you live with a bunch of guys and you're just hammering each other. So
Yeah.
I've been milking that. See, it's not you were with your third cousin twice removed. It was you were with your cousin because it's worth way more laughs. So whenever anybody new sees Cozy, I always make sure they go, "Oh yeah, I heard lots about you. You're the guy that so and so with the cousin." So that was what I was going for anyway. You did it okay.
Yeah. I was still uncomfortable. It's kind of weird asking a guy that when you first you meet him for 2 minutes. Oh, I heard about you. You're the guy that dated your cousin. Like,
Yeah, he knows
and
it's an
I have
icebreaker.
no idea whether or not it's going to start a fight where I'm going to be fist fighting a guy in the backyard, and you're going to be sitting there laughing, getting video for the podcast. I got Jimmy to beat up my buddy Cozy. Like,
No, but he knows I drive it, so it's a good icebreaker. You know that, like you said, he laughed. He's like, "Oh, here's Mooney again with the thing." Don't worry about it. It was fun, but I make sure that I will never let that die. I promise, Cozy.
yeah, that was evident, and yeah, but your brisket this time was actually really good. It was the best one that you've done so far. You keep getting better,
Yeah,
and
that's the hope. Yeah, like anything in life.
it's yeah, and our podcasts keep getting better and better and better, and it's all because of me. But
Sure. So what about you? Got any highlights from the week?
uh, not really a lot. Like we're gonna be talking about some stuff a bit later that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah.
shock the world, and we'll get into that a bit later. But um. I have wrestling on Friday, which I need to actually go tomorrow and find it, kind of figure out what it is I'm doing. Some Monster Pro Wrestling at the Alberta Avenue Community Center. It's this Friday. Uh, I've been kind of preoccupied because at my current job I'm not getting enough hours, so I'm trying to find either some other jobs that I've been kind of looking. I went in for an interview with a guy that I used to work with in telemarketing and pitched him on an idea of doing some promo videos for him. And he really loves that idea because I'm actually pretty good at editing. Like running a stream, I'm horrible. I can film anything with a camera. I can set up. I've got tripods and mics and other cameras that I can do for anything. But get me to run a stream, and we run a stream just fine. It just never records. So it
Yeah, you
doesn't
do
do well for a podcast. But
it. You can't
yeah,
record it.
so I'm working on doing some stuff for that. Like I had an interview. I've got some stuff going on, and it's been an interesting week. And before we get into a little bit more of it, I had an experience this week, and this this is this is the Jimmy's beef of the week.
Oh wow,
Okay,
we get
I
right
have a
into it,
beef.
right? Take the gloves
I'm
off.
getting
Let's
right
go.
into it. And I'm going to get right into it, and you're going to be on my side. I went grocery shopping, and they have one till open, and they're all and then the rest are self checkout. Either you wait in line for 30 minutes for having a person, or you do the self checkout. And I tried to do a self checkout this week, and they drive me insane. They're not set up for little people. Like the screens are so high up, and they got all the things here and there, and you have to do this and that. And they always have two people at the self checkout to run and help people. And there's been one of the places I went to this weekend. The guy basically did it for me because I couldn't reach anything. So they make no sense. Like that's just my personal opinion. This is my vent. I know when COVID happened and when all that stuff like when they were trying to keep social distancing, keep people away from people, they had self checkouts for everything. That was again, I think that's personally was a way that stores realized, hey, we don't actually have to pay for 10 people on the till. We could just have all these self checkouts where people have to do it themselves. Um, that's my personal, but I hate them. Like I don't do them at grocery stores when you're getting produce because then you have to try and figure out what the number is for and weigh and I only do stuff you can scan and it what drives me insane is you spend 5 minutes doing all your scanning, doing your self checkout, you get it all done, and then they go, tell us how we did. How who did? Me? I you should have hired me. Like 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 they at the end rate how we did today.
Yeah.
Like what if the fact that you had groceries and I bought them, you did a great job, dude. Like, but I did all the work. Like, and they don't have bags. You have to have your own bag, and it's it drives me insane. Like I for those who don't know, and I have to always remind, is I'm short. And when we talk about me being short, it's not like I'm 4 foot even. And I have short little stubby arms that I can't even reach over my head. So like, like it drives me nuts. And then if you wait for a checkout where there is someone, it's, it drives me nuts because you're waiting in line for 15 minutes. And and then he's gone, but hopefully he didn't hang up on
I
himself
can
again.
I can hear you.
But one bonus, one thing that I had that also happened today or this week that was impressive to me was the TD Bank because I really like them because I go to the teller, especially when I'm taking my rolled change in. But they have a way of lowering the counter. So so if you're a short person, you're doing the banking there, they'll lower it to as low as you need it to go. Like, and but they're basically sitting on the floor. But it's just like they have to lower themselves too. But I like the fact that they can lower the counters, and it's very customer service friendly, and I really like that. So, and now we're gone, but that's okay. But yeah, like self checkouts, I hate them. But the TD Bank, the counters, I'm a fan.
So I let me get this straight. So at the bank, they actually lower the thing when you get there.
Like when you get over to the counter,
Yeah.
and like when you go there and you go to put your card in the machine, they can lower the counter. They just press a button and it goes bzzz.
Well, that's cool.
Is that low enough? And I'm like, yeah. And then they go a little lower, and I'm like, okay, I'm not used to it being this low. I'm used to writing like this, not
Yeah.
down here. It's actually uncomfortable doing it down low because I haven't in 50 years. But now they're doing it. But they can lower the counter or raise the counter if you're a taller person. It's actually quite slick.
I'm gonna piggyback on your beef on. I
Self
think I'll stick with
checkouts.
stick with the grocery, but I have a beef about the um, about banks too. But I'll lay off that one and we'll save it. But we don't want to take like an hour talking about this shit. But um, like I didn't like the concept of Superstore like when they came out, and we're talking like 20 odd. I don't know, like 30. I don't know how long ago. At least 30 years ago. And um, like, what? You're not going to bag my groceries now? Listen, I don't feel like I'm the king of Sweden and everyone's got to roll out the red carpet for me. But every time my shopping experience, every time before that is like you go, they bag the groceries. Sometimes if you want to fill, they'll take it out to your car, and that's just a service they offer. I guess time we lived in, I don't know, and I don't want this to be a get off my lawn thing, but um, I I really I didn't like the idea that you gotta pay for your bag, and then you gotta, what is it, 5 cents they charge you for the bag, and then you gotta bag your own groceries. or
That
something.
yeah, that was before, but now with all the
Yeah,
with the
no,
bylaws, with that you don't get plastic bags,
they don't even
then
give
you
you
have
the
to,
yeah, they don't even
you know,
give you the friggin' bag, and you still got to
no,
bag your
you have to
groceries.
buy them or bring your own
Yeah, yeah, like
reusable.
I get big grocery. I mean, part of why it's cheaper is because they have low margin. Like they have really low margins on what they sell their stuff for, and so they have to save money. The way they make money is by saving money on overhead, which is like staff and which is like machines and all that other crap. And it's like, hey, like if uh if you sweep the floors, we'll give you 10% off. Like I wonder if it'll ever get to that, but it feels like it is already with these things. And then, you know, I mean, groceries aren't cheap nowadays, and especially in Canada, they take up such a huge part of your actual disposable income after tax that like honestly, um, uh, like when I go to the grocery, the last thing I want is for them to tell me to put my money in somebody else's pocket. And don't get me wrong, I'm a charitable guy. Like I give to charity every year, always have, always will. Um, Causes that I choose, and a portion of my budget that I can afford. And when I go to the grocery and I gotta bag my groceries and I basically get slapped around, like to get to save a little bit of money. The last thing I want is for them to go, oh, by the way, like, hey, you want to give to this? No, because first of all, I don't get a tax deduction, and secondly, you do. And secondly, and more importantly, it's like, you know what? This is the wrong time and the wrong place. So, like, yeah, Canadian big box stores suck. Sorry, I'm good.
But but I remember back in the day with Superstore and No Frills and all those when they first started doing that, when Safeway and IGA and all them, they had the plastic bags and
Yep.
they bagged your groceries, but you went there, but they also had the cardboard boxes, so they'd have the produce boxes and stuff in a pile at the end of the tills that you just grab them and you load up the boxes. That was okay. That was convenient at the time. But I don't see them doing that anymore. Do they even
Yeah.
they do that at Costco? I know that, but they used to at No Frills and Superstore. They used to have the cardboard boxes like from like that they used to unpack their shipping like their loads every time. But they don't
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
anymore. I don't see them.
Yeah. Well, they still do it at Costco.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
haven't seen them at Superstore or at
No.
Save On,
No.
and
No.
that's the
No.
first
And
or not
like
Save
it's
On. No Frills.
there's somebody that like I don't need it, but maybe someone's got a few bags and they're getting a cab or they're taking the bus or whatever. Like I said, used to be there was the common courtesy that the store that's making money off what you're buying. I know not a lot, margin wise, but maybe you can afford somebody to pay it forward, help people in a car, or whatever the case. I mean, society somehow seemed to work before when they did that. So you know,
Especially older people and I have seen it a couple times at Superstore when there are some elderly people that are struggling with their groceries that they do, call someone from customer service to help them to the car. So it's not totally lost on everybody. Like if they see someone struggling, like I've seen it a couple of times where someone with a walker is getting help to the car from a young guy from the back to help take the stuff to the car, so it's not totally lost, but it's not as in full swing as it used to be. You are not speaking. There is no words coming out of your mouth. I can hear something.
yeah, yeah, because my earbuds are out.
I can hear you breathing, so you seem to be talking.
Okay, it's probably good now. Yeah.
Yeah. Folks, this is what we call a professional podcast,
So
where we kind of, lose sound, people disappear from time to time.
yeah, okay.
And, we are a professional, and don't let the alcoholism fool you. It's not because we're drunk that this is happening. It's
Yeah.
because we're technology inept. We are very good at editing. We are great at content. But if you're expecting a podcast to go without any flaws, you're at the wrong show, man. Just letting you know there is going to be flaws. We're real people and we are idiots. But
Can you hear me now?
I can hear.
All right. So, where I was going with that is, like I said, how much it's evolved in the last, I don't know, however many years, where um, like the grocery where they have the self checkout and stuff. Like, I wonder how far away we are from like you having grocery credit on your phone, and you just take a like maybe a basket and scan shit. When you grab a spaghetti sauce, scan it, put in your thing. You grab a whatever, scan it, put in the thing. They got, and then they're like, I don't know. I mean, who knows? But I mean, the way technology is improving things or enabling things or like eliminating friction, I wouldn't be surprised if not too long from now, you've got the card on your phone and you're just scanning stuff, putting it in your basket that's weighted. So they got a cart, and you put it in the cart. The cart's weighted. When you leave, there's a guy checking what you bought, checking the weight of your cart, and then says, "Have a good day." It wouldn't surprise me in the least.
One thing I find really handy for myself with the fact that I don't drive and I do a lot of my grocery shopping, basically on transit is is the fact that like through all these apps online now, you can order your groceries and have them delivered right to you. So
Yeah,
like Skip the Dishes has it. And it's handy. I get that for all my heavy stuff. So if I need like cleaning supplies that are quite heavy or pop or whatever, and it's like because either that or else I'm taking 100 trips to the grocery store.
yeah.
Um, I do it that way. Like I like Skip the Dishes works, DoorDash, and then there's a couple of other apps out there that do it as well. I think Uber even does groceries.
The
Like
grocery store even has it that. Well, I know that. I mean, I haven't investigated it that much, but you go to the grocery now and they have the plastic bins with stuff in it already from things that people ordered. And when you park, like there's designated stalls for pickup, so you could do your shopping on your phone. They put it together and then you go pick it up. I would
yeah, and
never
they
do
just
that.
load it right into your car.
I'd never do that because of produce or whatever. And
Yeah,
some things you want to know what you're buying. Um, when I say I
yeah.
want to buy a sirloin, I want to see it, right? But um, yeah, I don't know how much uptake there'll be on that. They've been trying it since COVID, but definitely you're right with the skip and the Uber and all that.
Because I know a friend of mine used to do that, where she would order all her groceries and and you pay for it online and then you just pull up. You just throw it into at the back of your car and you drive away. Like,
Yeah,
and it works great for Skip. Like that, like as I said, like a lot of the canned stuff, a lot of like heavy things, or even some frozen, because I'm taking the bus, and half the time, by the time I get home on the bus, my frozen is already half thawed. So
yeah.
it really saves me a lot doing it online like that. I like it.
So let me ask you this. We might have talked about this before, but so let's say you get like two flats of pop and like, I don't know, two big things of laundry detergent. Let's just say like a shit ton of stuff, right? That's going to take a fella, maybe 3 or 4 trips from his car. When the skip guy comes by or the DoorDash, does the guy bring it to your door, all that shit, or like do you just leave it in
I've
his
never
car?
ordered that much. Like I don't overstock. I get like enough I need. Like I get a flat of pop and a thing of detergent. I'm a single guy. A big bucket of laundry detergent lasts me like a month. Like it's so like I don't get that much. I haven't got huge amounts where they have to pull a semi truck up to the house and drop off groceries. But
But you've had enough where a guy like does a guy bring it to your door, or does he like park in front
no,
of you?
they bring it right to my door. And
Oh,
then
okay, cool.
they bring it right to the door of the apartment. And I've even
Yeah.
had a couple of them offer to carry it up to the door of my apartment. Like I get them to bring it up to the front of the building, but I've had people offer to bring it right to my door. But I
Always
just
say
take it
no.
from
You're,
the
you're you're a good looking kid. Like just always say no.
yeah, yeah, I know you tried to walk me to my apartment door and I and I watch. I'm very careful because you know
Stranger danger.
I still worry about being around strangers and the fact that we've known each other for a very long time, but I don't think there's many people that are stranger than you. Um, so
Yeah, I can think of one jerky.
yeah, but but I don't see myself as stranger. I just am strange.
Yeah, that's for sure. So uh, we just came in hot, eh? Like just coming in and tearing apart the groceries. Like,
Yeah, but dude, like, hey, but you know, the thing is though, is we're not bad mouthing it. Like we are to a point, but we're also saying like when we talk about deliveries and stuff like that, that's smart stuff that they're doing, and it really does help people,
yeah, that's
especially
true.
older people or people that, you know, there's a lot of people in the city that depend on public transit and carrying large amounts of groceries or big items while you're on a bus is difficult.
Yeah,
And like
oh shit.
whether you're a little person, you're an old person, or just a normal average everyday person, you know, it's like because you're on a full bus sometimes and there's no like I don't like to do it. Like if I like either I order it for delivery or I take an Uber home. Like
Yeah,
like when it's a large amount. And but the things that they came up with like for delivery and stuff like that, it's handy. Like I know
yeah.
some elderly people that you know really depend on that kind of stuff. And it's
For people like that, and like for you, like given like the obvious challenges there, like it's perfect. Yeah, I can't argue with that.
yeah. Um,
Um,
anything else you want to say dealing with this grocery end of things?
yeah, no, no. I
We
just
don't want to beat a dead dog here. We've been talking
yeah, we're
about it for
good.
a few minutes.
We're good. But yeah, that
Okay.
the donating to charity, I am as charitable as they come. Just to qualify, but you already have your hand in my pocket when I'm buying groceries. Like, don't crawl up my ass. Like with the whole,
I
oh, you want to like, or
I
like, hey,
give it work.
do you want to
I
donate?
give it work.
Yeah,
What's that?
whatever. I'm like, I give you.
Like I've been working for charities for most of my life. I volunteer for you know fundraisers. I donate to fundraisers. I don't donate at grocery stores. The only time I do is usually at Christmas time, but I never donate money at a grocery store. I'll buy those bags that for the food bank, and I'll throw some stuff in the box for the food
Yeah,
bank that you get there. I do that every year.
yeah.
You know, make
And
sure you're helping someone. I don't like to give money. I like to either give time or something. Like
yeah, I mean that's the
like
thing, though. Eh?
something.
Like the point is that it's at your choosing.
Yeah.
Like I give. Okay, I don't like. You don't have to ask me. I'm gonna do it. Okay. And not only that, of course, they get credit for it with their foundations or whatnot. But it's like, let me do it at my choosing. In fact, I'll
Yeah.
tell you, like I used to every year, either at the mall or at the grocery, I'd volunteer for the Salvation Army and do the thing, the kettle at Christmas. Um, that started with my folks, and I don't know when I stopped. I should have kept it going for my kids, to be honest with you. But I used to do it every Christmas and happily. And like you might say, and we see them at Christmas. You walk out to grocery or whatever, but even then, no one's in your face when you're checking out, going, "Hey, you want to give to the Salvation Army?" They're there on the side. If you want to, you can. If you don't, no one's. giving you grief or anything, and they're not, you know, directly asking you like while you're doing an economic transaction. So anyway, done. Sorry.
No, but I've done that where I've stood outside grocery stores and done. We did a food truck for the food bank a number of years where you're outside going, "Hey, we're raising money for the food bank or raising groceries for the food bank," and people go in, buy stuff, bring it out, and
You'll be
that's
outside.
okay. Like,
You'll be outside the
yeah,
convenience store asking people for change or whatever. You need a beer. No, I get it. Yeah.
I don't. I I strict for beer. I don't. Like if I need beer money, I go to the back alley and go, "Hey, I'll strip beer for $10." You know, like come on, you got to do better than that, there, Mooney. Um,
That yeah, I got to do better than what you just said. I think
yeah, no,
I
you
like
got
the
to do
rabbit
better
hole. I
because
like the rabbit hole. I went you down,
if I
buddy.
can insult myself better than you can, you need to pick up your game. Okay.
All right, Smokey.
Okay. So I want to bring up something that I believe we talked about this the last podcast, and I'd like to. This is more of a, I don't know if you call it an intervention or a, just bringing somebody out of denial. Okay, either you're a pet guy or you're not a pet guy. You know, if you live in a house with a cat and you sit and you hang out with the cat, you're a cat guy. If not, you're in denial. It's okay to be a cat guy. I'm a dog guy. I'm okay with cats. I'm not like I don't. I've had dogs like since I was like little. We always had dogs. My mom has five. Like
Wow.
I've grown up in a household of dogs, and they are a huge part of your life. Animals are great. I remember like having dogs, and you come home after having a bad day at work or a bad day at school, and they come running up to you all smiling and jumping all over you and saying hi. Cats do the same thing, come over and say hi, maybe rub against your leg, stuff like that. Either you're a cat guy or a dog guy. That's my personal opinion. Mooney, I don't care what you say. You're a cat guy. I had this conversation with your woman recently, and she has evidence that you might be a cat guy. And I'm not going to use this on this podcast, but come out of denial, buddy. Yeah, you have a
I'm
cat.
not a cat guy. I'm not a cat guy. I'm an avowed anti-feline. Uh,
I I
no, listen. There's a thing that we like to call nuance, okay? And it's like I am a loving and caring partner. Um, if I wasn't living with Andrea, would I have a cat? Never, never. I've had like
okay,
I've had
that's
the odd
reasonable.
girlfriend, the odd girlfriend from time to time back in the day might have a cat. Just a coincidence. There's no relationship. There's no uh, like love exchange. I don't think. I don't know. I think maybe some cat, like with a cat, there might be like one person, because like Andrea's cat does curl up in her lap and like I don't know, like go on top of her in the bed or whatever, but not me. Um, it's one of those things, like that old Bugs Bunny cartoon, with the coyote and the sheepdog. It's like morning Ralph, morning Sam, and we pass each other in the hallway, and that's it. Um, the most I can say about that cat is the allergies, with the talking right now. So all I
Uh,
do is give. All I do is give, and they just take, they take, they take.
okay, so the moral of this story is, ladies and gentlemen, denial is more than just a river in Egypt. It's also something that's my friend Mooney deals with on a daily basis. He's in denial that he has a cat.
I don't have a
He's in
cat.
denial.
I live
He's
in a
in
house.
denial that he likes the cat. And but I'm okay with that. I'm not judging you. You know, you know,
I live in a house with somebody that
the
owns a
best
cat.
way to deal with a problem is to acknowledge it. I'm acknowledging it for you. You're in denial, my friend. You
the
and
best the best
yes,
way to do
you might be allergic to the cat, but you don't stay away from it. You're still
it.
you're still a cat guy.
So
And
the best way to deal with the problem is confirm that you don't have it, and allow your friend to say that you're lying. So okay, that sounds pretty
but
reasonable to me.
I'm pretty sure the lady in the background that was saying, no, I have picture evidence. Um, she's not lying. So I'm just saying.
This feels like a stitch up job because like I work from home, and you know, in the like literally, it's probably approaching thousands of days since Andrea and I have lived together. Where she'll be at work and she'll go, "Can you send me a picture of a cat?" So I sent her a picture of the cat, and then um, like she gets the picture and it goes in like, but Google knows that I've taken those cat pictures. And guess what? Like now Google thinks I'm a cat guy. And it sends me like these made up like video montage of like cat pictures, like with a little cat meowing in the background. And I'm like, no, that's not me. It's like you lend your you give someone your Spotify password and all they do is listen to like emo or electronic music or something, and then all of a sudden, it's recommending like the shittiest music ever to you. No, 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 no. There's a difference, my friend, and I think I think we can move on. I think we've resolved this.
Yeah, that's there will be more interventions in the future. Um, okay,
No.
so is
By
there
the way,
anything that we
hang on.
previously dis
I want to
okay?
bookmark that. Sorry, I want to just conclude that by saying that I'm by no means the smartest guy in the world. I got a lot to learn about a lot of things, but um, like it's scientifically confirmed that a dog has twice as many brain cells as a cat. Like just genetically or biologically speaking, that is just simply a fact. And like any reasonable person, um, that kind of is looking for a little more emotional intelligence, then definitely dog's a way to go. But one thing that I always thought ironic was that uh, a dog is twice as smart as a cat. Okay, but a cat um, takes care of their business without you having to intervene. You don't have to take a
They're
cat for a walk. You don't have to like. I'm like,
they're more self-sufficient. They don't need you.
yeah, yeah.
Whereas dogs do. And having dogs need you and want to be around you is I think important is it's something that's helped me like I remember like having a dog when I was a kid, and I remember being bullied and coming home from school and just just having a horrible day, and you walk in and the dog is jumping all over you saying hi, and you laying on the couch if you're sick and they're cuddling up next to you, and that's a good feeling when and it happens as an adult. I like when I like was it last summer I was babysitting my buddy's dog, and I'd take a nap on the couch at the end and then wake up and he's laying on me. And this dog is almost as long as I am, and he's like his he's laying on me like kind of between my legs and across me, and his head's just below my chin, and he's just laying there like this. And I wake up to like being, dominated by a dog.
It's a human.
And
It's a canine blanket.
yes, and I like that. And your cat's a good cat. I walk in, and if it's in the
Andrea's
mood,
cat.
it comes in and
Andrea's
says
cat.
hi.
Andrea's cat.
Okay, the household cat.
Yeah, but
The cat is as much a resident of that house as you. I'm pretty sure if we talked about this last time, if you
yeah,
had to
but it's
choose, if Andrea had to choose you or the cat, you'd be living on the street. Like
yeah, yeah, it's
you'd be sleeping on my couch.
yeah. I don't even. God, nuzzled up against you, my body across you, with my head just in your chest.
So, not with me. Okay, not with me. Not with
Wow,
me.
wow,
Well,
sublimate.
you just, oh my God, that was, oh, you have issues, my friend.
You're the one that brought it up, buddy. But listen, I will say this just to uh, uh, put a bow on that is that yeah, like you got to have a heart of stone. Come home from work, and this little fella, or, your dog is just happy to see you. Like for that not to impact you in a positive way. So, yeah, I'm definitely a dog guy. I love dogs so much that I would never get one.
Why is that? Because like you're not home enough, or
Yeah, pretty much. Or like I wouldn't say that. I mean, I work from home, but it's just I travel, I go away and stuff, and I don't want that dog to be a burden on someone else. And
yeah, like if you do a lot of traveling, it's not good. Like because either they're gonna be either you're gonna have friends watching them, or they're gonna be in kennels a bunch of times. And yeah, if you're a traveler, maybe not the best thing, but if you can have a dog, um, like one of my like that's one of my favorite things going home is I love hanging out with my mom, but her dogs are awesome. And and they all have and every dog has a different personality. Like
yeah,
mom has three dogs, they're the same breed and they're three totally different dogs. Like one can will jump all over you and she's all excited. The other one will just stand there and let you pet her. And then if you stop petting her, she'll lay on your lap. And she's a huge dog. Like she can lay she's longer than I am. And then I walk into my mom's house and she has one
she
dog,
can like
Chloe.
she can cuddle you Mooney style.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Like mom has this one dog, Chloe, where I walk into the house and she puts her front paws on my shoulder and pets my head. Like she does this with her paw.
That's awesome.
I get petted by my mom's dog. And it's just funny. But every dog has a different personality. And
One observation that you made that earlier about Andrew's cat that I should address is that like you said, well, the cat she's nice. She comes up to me. You are like honestly like how many people we've had over since we lived here over 10 years, and and you have like that cat is more taken by you than like 99% of the people that have ever come. Actually, all of them. Andrew's best friend comes over, takes care of the cat when we're away, and the cat doesn't like make the same overtures to her like she does to you. I don't know what it is, but
I think
your impression
part of
your
it
impression of
is.
that cat your impression of that cat isn't necessarily a universal observation shared by everyone that's met her. In fact, I would say that you're the only person that possesses that where you're like that cat is friendly, outgoing, cuddly, because even I'm here to tell you that it's not even that way for me. So not that I want it, I don't. So
But people seem to say, and I think they're right, is like I'm not, and like when it comes to animals, I'm not aggressive. I don't I'm never startled by an animal, so I never flinch when and but I'm also not intimidating to a dog. So like a lot of dogs either it's funny, like dogs are a prime example of they either like me or hate me. Like if they don't like little kids, big dogs freak out when they see me until till they see I don't react or
yeah,
I go to pet them or whatever.
or escalate, escalate.
If they bark at me and I start, then yeah, then I'm dinner. But but the thing is I like dogs, and I'm not aggressive. If like I don't go to pet them, I stick my hand out and let them sniff me. That's one thing with animals. You don't be aggressive and reach out. You just move close to them, let them sniff you, let them come to you. If they don't come to you, then they don't want anything to do with you. If if they come to you, then you have a chance. But you never move aggressively to pet a dog. Always have to be slow. That's just
Yeah, well,
something that
yeah,
I've learned over the years.
and it probably lends itself to this cat business too, because like you have a lifetime of dealing with pets. But we're not here to pat you on the back because, frankly, you don't deserve it.
because I'm just awesome.
Just
Um,
an observation. No, no, it's you got to earn it, kid.
okay. Let's. Is there anything I didn't cue
Uh,
you up for this? Hopefully, you have something, anything in the sports world that you want to talk about.
Blue Jays lost tonight to Baltimore. It's the first of a three-game divisional series. Um, we took 3 out of 4 against the Tigers, which were sitting atop of the American League with us. Basically, the Blue Jays, as we end July, are the best team in baseball, and without question, the best team in the American League. Um, nobody would have called that. Um, like um, when the season started in April. Uh, so they're a team to watch. Um, and let me just mention why is that their two biggest free agent signings of the summer or the winter, um, neither of them are playing. Andres Jimenez is still out, and Anthony Santander, he's out likely for at least another month. Jimenez is just doing light workouts, and he's still a ways off. And another fella, Dalton Varsho, who's been with us a couple of years, Golden Glove winner, just a beast in the outfield on D, but also had a really hot bat this season when maybe we weren't having the guys firing that we're firing now. He's been out for a while. He might join us this series, but I don't want to say it's a skeleton crew because there's some fantastic guys that are really showing up. You know, like Addison Barger, like um, Joey Laperfido, Will Wagner, and like Brad Lauer, or is it Eric Lauer? um, on the mound as one of our starting pitchers that came over from Korea in the offseason. I mean, it just seems like, but baseball's a funny sport. They play 162 games a year. There's ups, there's downs. It's just, you can't put it together for 162 games. No one can. And so, is it a hot patch? Just one of those weird syncopated times when everybody's having the streak at the same time. I don't know, but today, excuse me, Bo Bichette broke a team record for hits in a row, or at bats in a row where he's got a hit. I think it was either 10 or 11. Um, and like, I guess my point is that I'm not sure that it's a fluke, and I think that given the pieces that are going to be joining us, trade deadline not even withstanding, that we should be able to sustain this for a while. Um, Other news with the Jays is Captain Kirk, Alejandro Kirk, is out probably till the end of the Baltimore series that we just started tonight with concussion syndromes, and he's been a stalwart player for us too this year, undrafted. That's a crazy story, Alejandro Kirk. Um, the scouts got sent to Mexico. It was a Tijuana or Mexico City to watch a ball game, and they'd been given the name of a kid. Um, that was highly touted, and that other teams were scouting. And the Blue Jays scout at that time went to watch this kid, and then he's like, "Wait a minute, who's that catcher? Who's that little fella behind the plate?" And it was Kirk. And right now he's like, he's a two-time Major League Baseball All Star, maybe three. And if that scout didn't go to that game, maybe they don't find him. Crazy. It's crazy how sports works. Why I follow it, why it's fun. I won't belabor the point, Jimmy. The Eskimos lost again, but it was closer. Cody Fajardo started his first game of the season with them. If you're an optimist, you'll look forward to the game this week. I've watched a lot of losses, but I'll probably watch the game with my fingers crossed, but not with a abiding sense of optimism.
Okay, I'm kind of confused by your sports report there. Sorry, in baseball, there's a Boba Fett and a Captain Kirk.
Well, who's Boba Fett? Like what?
Yeah, you
Oh,
said Boba Fett or Boba Shed or Boba
Boba
something.
Fett. Boba Fett.
Oh, I
Bo,
thought you said Boba Fett. I was like, what?
no,
Okay.
Bo Bichette. Yeah, for like it's like good thing you didn't go for a beer while I was doing my boring sports report, eh?
Yes,
You got a little,
I
you
keep my
got you
beer
got
fridge right here.
you got a little Star Wars tickle there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm following in sports. I'm not here to give a massive rundown. Hopefully, it's interesting enough. Speaking of Star Wars, did you have anything on that front? You have a
I don't want to go there yet. I want to just wait a second because
okay?
earlier in the podcast you were talking about that you do a lot of traveling because when you were talking about why you don't have pets, have you been coast to coast in Canada yet?
Yeah, I've
Like
been
how far east have you been?
Newfoundland.
So you've been on the ferry,
Yeah,
like
I
from Port, oh, can't
Labrador.
remember where it's from. What's that?
I've been to Signal Hill. I've never been to Labrador. I haven't been to PEI, but I've been to Nova Scotia, New Brunswick. I took the ferry from St. John. I think it's the Bay of Fundy. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I remember taking a ferry from St.
I
John.
think it is. I think it
Yeah.
is.
And then of course you got. I think it's hard to live in Edmonton or Alberta as long as we have, and not spent a little bit of time in the left coast, right?
Like the oh yeah, like it like the ferry goes from Sydney to is it Port au Basque? Like there's two that go to Newfoundland. There's one that goes to the west coast of Newfoundland. I think it's Port au Basque, and then there's one that goes to St. John's. I've been to both. I love Newfoundland. Uh, uh and if you haven't been to
George Street.
New oh George Street, you go there on St. Patty's Day, and you're with the midget. It's like weird stuff happens.
Did you do
But
the
it's
screech and the kiss and the cod?
being screeched in. Oh yeah, you kiss the cud, you drink the screech, you stick your feet
Dude,
in ice water.
that
You
was fucking.
eat the salt beef. Oh yeah, there's so yeah, oh being screeched in. I was screeched in a couple of times. Um,
Like
so much fun.
that was maybe that's in my top five worst alcohol experiences. And
Oh,
not
we were
because
hungover as hell the next day.
are
It
you
was
kidding? Hang on a minute. Like, hey, just don't even. Like, I took a shot. That's it. And I'm telling you, like the night that I did that, I was maybe two beer in. So I wasn't like zippered or anything. I wasn't getting after it at the time. Um, and I took this concoction and, and then you do the cod and whatnot. And I couldn't fucking move for like 5 minutes because it was just burned like it was like gut
oh
rot. It was, and I got gag
screech.
reflex just, just from how it tasted.
Oh, screech is not like. I think and I've talked to a few Newfies, like I know quite a few of them. I'm pretty like Newfoundlanders designed it specifically for visitors, for tourists, because none of them drink it. Like we were like on when I worked on a Cruise FM, we were talking about Screech and how we were all screeched in, and a former Newfoundlander brought us each a bottle of Screech as a Christmas present. So we had a brand new bottle of Screech, and each and every last one of us re-gifted it to somebody else. But because we weren't going to
Well,
drink that, I've done it before.
I'm
It's
glad you brought it up, like about the bottle, because now I'm curious, and here's why. Um, like you don't go to the liquor store and there's a separate fucking Screech section, or it's like a sub rye section called Screech. Like there isn't a brand called Screech. So I'm wondering if like different bars make it in their fucking toilet, like prison, or
no, but
like is
it's an
when
actual
that
it's
guy
an
gave that thing
actual
to you, like did it say Screech on it?
it says company on it. I'm pretty sure you can get it in a liquor store.
Because
For those who are listening, if you can get Screech in a liquor store, tell us where, and
yeah,
maybe we'll. maybe we'll do a shot on the next podcast.
I want to, and I'll tell you why. Because my experience with my one experience with Screech was so fucking horrible that I haven't done it since, and I'm suspicious of whether or not like that was just a bad batch at the bar that I was at because they make it in the back or whatever. If there's like a brand of Screech, maybe it tastes like less offensive than the swish that I crushed that night.
The the thing is Newfies say it's a lot. It's a lot. Um,
Yeah.
but the thing is though is I think it could be because we all had the same problem. But we, if you were being screeched in, you were kissing a fish. You were probably eating other things, and like when we got screeched in, like yeah, like I don't even remember how we got to the hotel. Um,
Yeah.
and it was across the parking lot. Like I think that was the time me and one of my little person buddies, Farmer Pete, we did not want to walk to the hotel, and it was basically across the parking lot. We called a taxi, and it basically was
The U
it was
turn.
like taking a taxi. It was like taking a taxi from Sherbrooke Pub to Sherbrooke Liquor. Um, like
Yeah.
or maybe the Chinese food store on the corner. Like and the guy goes, "Really?" And yeah,
But
I'm
you
like,
know, I
"Yeah,
can
my buddy,
understand.
my buddy Pete could not walk that far." He goes, "Okay, that's $3." So we tipped him, and we ended up giving him 10. But like he drove us across the parking lot. It took us longer to get in and out of the car than it did for him to drive to where we were staying.
But in your
Um,
defense, though, it's like twice as many steps.
100% true. Like, and especially when you're with like I was with a little person that limps. So it would have taken him twice as long.
But no, I love the people there. It was awesome. I got no complaints about Newfoundland. Uh, I did a little driving through there. My favorite part was George Street. To be honest with you,
Oh yeah.
a lot of it. Yeah, I won't say anymore. But I really want to. I'm now curious about the Screech. I want to investigate that further, and
Yes.
like I want to
Well,
know whether or not there's just batches that people make, or there's an actual like I can go buy Screech. I'm sure I could AI it or fucking Google it or whatever. Like we'll figure it out. But yeah,
but
anybody who's listening wants to throw in on the Facebook or the YouTubes or whatever, please do so.
yes, I'm actually looking, and I none of the liquor stores here have it, but you can get it in. Oh, according to this, Screech is a blend of two Jamaican rums and some and molasses. I don't know, or
Like
something.
it's like it's in Newfoundland. How did Jamaican rum end up? Like, yeah, it's like like sweat from a plumber's ass crack and two Jamaican rums and
Okay,
you know what came out of Alice like you know the night she got hammered like what the
yep.
fuck.
So if anyone listening knows where we can get a bottle of Screech, please let us know, and we will on our next podcast. We'll each do a shot of Screech on our next podcast.
Yeah, like blind. Like I will just have it here. My reaction will be
We'll
honest.
just
Yeah.
grab the bottle, just take a swig. We'll
Or
do it live on the show.
do a video and throw it on or something.
Do a
I don't
video
know.
like one of our times hanging out at your place or something.
Yeah,
But
but
we will, if you could tell us where we can find some Screech, we will, we will do something with that.
yeah, and I don't want to
But the
retread
re,
anything. But like the time that I did it, I did the one shot, and like I said, I couldn't have been more than two beers in, and I'm like, I'm just gonna sit over there, and I'm like sitting at the table in the corner, and they're like, "Hey, Mooney, we're doing shots," you know. I'm like, I don't even want to talk right now. Like I was literally paralyzed. So there's got to be a better way to do
oh,
street, or I could be a
there's,
lightweight. I'm not dismissing that.
but you, you never know. But it's just, My favorite spot in Newfoundland actually was a small town called Stephenville. So when I was with the basketball team, we we took the ferry to Port aux Basques and you drive all the way to St. John's. And but we were doing schools all the way through there, and there's this little town of Stephenville, and the bar was right next to, or the bar was right next to the Chinese restaurant, the one of two restaurants in the town, and the behind the bar was the laundromat. So we were basically in the town hub when we were there, and so we were at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're sitting there drinking, playing VLTs, and all the locals were like, "Hey, where are you guys from?" We're from Ontario. We're like some of the guys were from Ontario. I was from Alberta. And while we were drinking and eating at the bar, the owner of the bar got his family to wash our laundry in the laundromat. They washed, dried, and folded our laundry while we drank and ate at their house. And then or no, at the bar. And then they invited us over their house for Jig's dinner. And then the next day we got screeched in. Like,
How awesome is
have
that?
you
Like before
like
you
and
even
it's
told you
just a
before you
small
even
little
told
town, you don't know anybody, and they're just like inviting you to your house. Like
yeah.
it's a bunch of weird midgets that are drinking and gambling, and
Well, it's a
they
bunch of
invited
weird
us to their
midgets. There's a
house.
bunch of midgets and one weird one. Not
Normal
to
one back
mention
then.
you. No, but you were talking about that, and I'm thinking you're a touring outfit. You have like your lodgings, you have a bar, you have a fucking restaurant, and you have like you can wash your clothes all within walking distance, like stumbling distance, really. I mean,
Oh yeah,
Gav's story notwithstanding, but that's a sweetheart venue, right? But
yeah.
then
Because
the cherry on top is how friggin' nice all those people were, eh?
oh, it was like we weren't even gonna do our laundry though. Like we were because we weren't quite at laundry day then. Um, but they're like, hey, do you guys have? Do you need laundry to be done? And we're like, yeah. Oh, the laundromat's just go through this door. It's right next to the kitchen. And not even joking, it's right next to the kitchen. So we go and then they get someone to do our laundry for us. And
Beautiful.
if you've never had a Newfie's Jigs dinner, you've got to do it, dude.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing like it.
But you know, when you guys put on those freshly laundered silks and you wandered into the gymnasium, you were like the kings of the town.
Oh, but But the funny thing is we also did an anti-bullying program in schools, the schools at the same time, and we always do a question period. So we talk about bullying, and then we do a question period. Do you guys drink beer? You're in elementary school. Um, yeah, we don't really want to talk about that. My dad said you guys were at the bar all day yesterday. Um, like so. Like when you're in a small town like that, everybody in town
Oh yeah.
knows that what you're doing, and it was so much fun. But the reason why I brought up the East Coast is I
You
saw
guys are like
something
the
that was kind of
Beatles. I like Jimmy.
what's
He's the
that?
cute one. You're like the Beatles. I like Jimmy. He's the cute one.
Uh, but but the reason why brought up the East Coast is Ottawa is doing something kind of interesting. So they brought up some things. They are planning on actually cutting down the tolls on fares that goes from Newfoundland. Like, so they're going to subsidize it
Yeah.
going to and from Newfoundland and the tolls on the Confederation Bridge.
Yeah.
If you haven't been to PEI, dude, that bridge is a wonder. Like it goes forever. Like you feel like you're on that bridge for like that is a long bridge that like,
Yep.
and there's a toll. The toll on the bridge is, I think, $100 one way. I think they charge you like on the bridge, charge you to go there, but they don't charge you to come back.
Yep. And that bridge has been paid for at least 20 times by that toll. Not for
But the
nothing.
thing is, but on a different note, that's also like because of touristing stuff. So the province themselves make money on that. They're not a huge province. They're I can understand like
The federal
them
government,
charging for
the
it.
federal government is the one that's offering the rebate. So the federal government is the one
Yes,
that's enriched by the charge because it's a national,
true.
whatever,
Yeah,
like the national park. So
but
when the government, oh, I'm sorry, let's bask in your enthusiasm for a little bit. Go ahead.
no, I'm just saying because that will actually, I think, lowering the tolls will bring more people there, which I think is a good thing because like even going to to PEI, we weren't there that long, but it's different. Like it's like and the ground, like they're known for their potatoes, but they have like it's almost like a red soil. But
Yeah, they have
it's
red
such a
beaches.
cool like they have yeah, it's so cool. Um, I'm just saying that doing stuff like that to cut back on tolls and fares between provinces, like even for trade between provinces, will actually benefit everybody in the country to the fact that we'll go there, we'll bring in stuff from other parts of because it drives me insane that they're trying for free trade between other countries but we still don't have free trade between provinces. It
Yeah,
that
we never
bugs me.
will. We never will. Uh, we never will. But you know what? If it like, I shouldn't be so pessimistic. I hope we do at some point because a $10 block of cheese might cost you like four. You know, not to mention a bunch of other things, and we don't want to go into too many details. So what I will say though is that I've been to the Maritimes a few times. Um, Mostly for business. One time when I was around high school, I went with my dad to Halifax, and we drove around for a few days and went to Lunenburg, where they have the ship that's on the dime. I mean, it might not be anymore. Maybe they got rid of it. Maybe it's something
Oh
else.
no, no, I know. Look, I was there too.
Yeah,
We
there's a
had lobster. We had
yeah.
lobster right. We had lobster at a seafood place right on the coast where you could see the boat from
Yeah, the
the
Lunenburg.
seafood place.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that
that's
was Lunenburg.
it's the best seafood chowder I ever had in my life. And I'll
Oh
say
yeah.
this, Jimmy, if we ever find the time, uh, you know, like to even just take a week and fly to, like, I don't know. I mean, here's another thing that sucks about Canada is if you want to fly to like St. John, Newfoundland, um, or is it St. John's? I think it's St. John's, Newfoundland. Um,
St. John's is Newfoundland. St. John
St.
is
John
New
is,
Brunswick.
I should know that. I was a member of their board for so many years. Anyways, if you want to fly to St. John's, Newfoundland, like anybody who's listening right now, you have my word. If you can get to St. John's, Newfoundland from Edmonton, Alberta, without taking at least three flights, I have $100 that I'll happily pay you. Because in all my experience, that's never happened. Maybe Flair does it now, so I could have an egg on my face, but it's a bitch. So it might be a thing where you fly to Halifax, which is still probably still I would say two flights minimum. Um, but go to Stanfield in Halifax and drive the coast to New Brunswick, to PEI, and to Newfoundland. I'd say that wouldn't be a bad week-long trip. You'd have to stay in every town that you landed in because you get after it, but that might be a fun trip to go for a couple fellows to go on, eh?
Like even if you flew to like Nova Scotia or even to Kingston, Ontario, and drove like once you get through Ontario, like
Yeah,
you're pretty okay.
yeah, I don't. Yeah. Anyway, um, before we just a quick thing on the toll. You know, they give you a discount on the toll. Um, if I steal $20 from your wallet, or you let me take $20 out of your wallet, and I come back 6 months later and I go, hey, by the way, here's $5. You shouldn't be celebrating the fact that Chris Mooney just gave me $5. Not for nothing. That's all I'm going to say about
But
that.
but I'm just saying, like for some of those bridges and the ferries and stuff like that, they take maintenance. And stuff like that. Like I get it to a point,
Yeah,
but I'm just something like 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 at least they're not leaving. Like you can look at it like anything on it, but at least they're giving you like they're cutting it back, making it easier for people to go there. It whether or not like we could talk about whether or not people should be paying to cross that bridge. Let's not cross that bridge. Let's just
yeah,
talk about the fact that they see you like that. Uh-huh.
I did.
Um,
Look how
so
clever you are, Jimmy.
I dude, and I'm not even trying. Um, but I'm just saying that the thing is at least they're doing something that's semi-positive.
Yeah, and you know what?
That's looking at the glass half full, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
Um,
Me too.
like
My
not
version
the
of
glass Mooney. Like there's
no,
glass half
fuck you,
full,
man.
there's a glass full, and then there's glass Mooney, which
My
is,
my my half full, my glass half full observation for our purposes right now is that if you really want to celebrate Canada, what you want to do is go across this great place and meet people and talk to them like Jimmy did in Stephenville and like I did in countless trips to St. John, especially New Brunswick and Halifax. Beerley's, hello to all the folks who do karaoke at Beerley's, um, and all the wonderful people we've met in our lifetimes who are from there, and realize how much more we have in common than how much the media says divides us or whatever. And if you want to really have a worthwhile experience of Canadiana, don't fucking buy Canadian. Don't you do whatever you want. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. But if you want to celebrate what really matters in Canada, get on one of those trips and take that drive and go to the locals and talk to people. You might find that despite the vastness of Canada, we have a lot more in common than we think. Um, that leads me to our mutual friend Lovis. Told me a story once about a trip that he took with some fellas to Yukon in the Northwest Territories via RV. But hi, Brett, if you're listening. Um, I never cheated ever. It was always Baker, not for nothing. Maybe I'll tell that story next week. But anyways, they rented an RV and they did like the North Country in the summer, and by all accounts, it was a great trip. So that's another one where uh, you want to save your travel dollar. Maybe you don't want to go to the States or whatever. I'm going to Vegas in 3 weeks, so I got nothing on that. But if you're that
You
way
go into
inclined.
Vegas again?
Yeah, but if you're that way inclined, Canada has a lot to offer in terms of like experiences with people, meeting people, talking to people,
And
commiserating.
food. And like
Oh yeah, food. Yeah.
there's some like you if you're traveling Canada, if you're go don't go to chain restaurants. Don't go to like your Denny's and you go to the mom and pop places. You go to the places because you get some of the best food at just like a restaurant on the side of the road. Then you do like even truck stops in Canada like have some of the best food in Canada and they have everything. Like I haven't traveled. It's been over 20 years since I've been on the road, like doing that. But
Yeah.
some of my greatest memories are going into places and where you're just meeting, like, a family that where their youngest kid who's like 12 years old is busting the dishes, you know, and, the young ones are sweeping the floor. And like the whole family is working at the restaurant, and it's the best food, home cooked, and like don't like yeah, don't do uh chain restaurants. Do like locally owned. That's when you're traveling is
I
where
I
what I'm
I
saying.
I 100% agree. I thought that that was just what people knew how to do. Like, you know what I mean?
Because
That's
people
what.
look, oh, there's a Denny's. Oh, we
Yeah,
know what's on the menu there. They're not and like there's some people like I know you and I are not this type, but there are some people that will only eat stuff they know. They're not willing to try. Oh, what's a bison steak? Like, what's like what you serve eel? Um, you know,
yeah. Well, like Kieran and I went to Jasper in like last winter, um, and like we went out a night or two, and we wanted a steak. You go when you're in Banff. So did I say Jasper? I meant Banff. When you go to Banff, you go to Melissa's Mistake every time. Like if you want a good
yeah,
steak, I mean, they got other places, but you're not going to Earl's, or they have a
no.
keg. You can get a keg in Edmonton. Go to a local, go local, go Melissa's Mistake. If you're in Jasper, you want a good steak, go to something else, or better yet, go to L&W in Jasper. Um, Everything they do is good, and it's a family run outfit. And guess what? People give a shit, and it's unique in its own way, just like we were talking about when you meet people across Canada. But yeah,
Yeah, like you were just talking about Banff, and I was there in Banff with my friends Naomi not that long ago, and I'm trying to think of the name of the restaurant. Um, I'm
is
just
it a
looking.
restaurant or a bar?
Uh, it was a restaurant, but they had the best jambalaya I have had in a restaurant.
Jambalaya, huh?
Oh yeah, I can't find it.
Banff's a little harder to narrow down because they have like that's basically a tourist town, right? Um,
Okay, now
because they have that Mexican joint that's just on north of the Irish bar. I just can't remember the name. Um, they might have a good jambalaya over there. We don't want to waste people's time guessing.
no. I just like I was just trying to think because I know. Oh, it wasn't Banff. It was in Lake Louise
Oh, okay.
because we started in Lake Louise. But but
Well,
yeah,
thanks, Jim.
there's
We're never gonna get that time back, Jimmy. Thanks, Jimmy.
I know
Very
I'm sorry I ruined everybody's life. You know that's the reason why on the Bald and Short of It podcast is why we drink is because we ruin people's lives
one
and
of the
and
reasons.
because of that you know you know Mooney, the cat person that's not a cat person, is in denial, so he drinks, and I just drink because I just ruin people's lives. But
when uh when you're watching the Bald and Short of It podcast, when you're watching, you're guaranteed to get Jimmy's undivided attention because when you look at his screen or his side of our screen, he's like this.
but you don't understand. I've been doing this for the last 10 years. I've been in radio where you're multitasking and and because on the radio you don't look at a freaking camera. You're sitting there talking to people and you're looking up stuff. I'm still on radio in my head. Like I've been in radio longer than I've been doing podcasting with some dumbass named Mooney.
what
Like,
what tasks? Let me just ask you this simple question then, Jimmy, because you said you're multitasking. So I have to ask
yes.
you, like, what tasks are you like completing right now? Um, ahead of
Look,
like
look,
talking to your friend.
what I'm doing is okay. You want to know the multiple tasks I'm doing right now? Here, I'll explain those to you just
No,
to make
I
it a
don't
little
want to hear.
easier for you.
Nobody wants to
No,
hear how
no. So,
misogyny
so I'm looking at our prep and where we're going next. Okay, that's task number one. Two, I'm going on Google and looking up, trying to figure out where that restaurant was. That's three. And no, no, yes, that's three. And task number four is I'm drinking. So multitasking on a four level. Like, dude, you're just drinking and you're just talking to me. You and being a jackass. But being a jackass is just you talking. So I
I've
digress.
been I do research too while we're talking, and like nobody knows because like like I'm genuflecting engagement, not for
You're
nothing.
what?
I'm genuflecting engagement.
Oh, I thought you were gender flecking. I was like, what's gender flecking? Um,
You don't want me to show you what gender flecking is, whatever that is.
oh, okay. So we have just gone sideways, folks. So let's skip. Let's let's deal with Star Wars a different day because we have been going for a little bit longer and we don't want to bore people for too long. Um, so let's
Is that
talk.
maybe the first time in your whole life that you said let's deal with Star Wars on a different day? I think that
That's
might
actually
be the
probably the first time I've ever
first
said
record
that.
ever.
Like
Yeah.
like since I knew what Star Wars was because because we did kind of tease on it a bit earlier. Let's get into something a little bit more serious before we say bye. This past let's say 10 days in the celebrity world has been a pretty tough one. Um, we lost Malcolm Jamal Warner not that long ago, and he was drowned. If you don't know who he is, then you're too young. He was Theo Huxtable from the Cosby Show. We lost, rock and roll legend who won like he was inducted into the rock and roll Hall of Fame twice. Once with Black Sabbath and once solo. Ozzy frickin' Osbourne. He was my introduction to rock music. He had some of the best music. Like, I think my personal opinion, and people might disagree with me, I think some of his best stuff was when he went solo. He was great in Black Sabbath, but some of his solo stuff was uh,
like like
amazing.
like the Bark at the Moon album. I think I'm gonna guess right now, and while I multitask, but I think that came out in like '82, 83. Yeah, it came out in '83. But like, who doesn't remember that song? And that was like Randy Rhoads too, who's like a legend
Uh,
unto itself. Like this guy knew how to spot talent. He was a rising tide that floated a lot of boats. Um, like Zach Wild. Um, in his short life, Randy Rhoads, Gus. I mean, this was a fella that like all of us, he basically exemplified the human condition. And I think that maybe um, that was like obviously his wife's like a genius manager, but um, like even I know those reality TV shows are heavily not necessarily scripted but edited, and they followed around. I don't know how I'd be able to handle being followed around all day by a camera, but they did a really good job, I think, in my opinion, based on what I've heard from third parties, um, uh, highlighting like the man's humanity. Like
he
a shit faced guy that bites the head off a bat that he thought was dead or whatever, rubber, versus like a guy with a family and with the humility that we all possess in some way, shape, or form. But I don't think I recall anybody who's had an experience with Ozzy Like, and I follow music fairly closely. That's never had a bad word to say about the man. And again, how many people's careers did he help out? And how much did he help out that genre of heavy metal? I mean, you think about this. Bark at the Moon came out in '83. Um, Motley Crue's first record, Poison's first record. I'm not even going to talk about grunge, but like all of those bands from the eight, Bon Jovi. I mean, I don't think there's anybody from any of those outfits that can claim that they weren't influenced by either Sabbath or, Ozzy. So,
But
uh,
yeah, like you were touching on the Randy Rhoads era with Ozzy, and I've seen interviews with both him and with Sharon that Randy's passing hurt him big time. Like
yeah,
he got heavier on the drugs. He got like he it's and Ozzy's music was something like when I was growing up, and it was rebel music. Like when we were kids, like in I grew up in Tabor, which was kind of a church community, and if we listened to like Ozzy Osbourne, he bit a bat, he was a vampire, he was this, and we listened to it more, and it kind of got me into rock music, and like he was one of the first bands that drove me to rock music. And rock music has been a huge part of my life over the last several years. Being in radio, I was again at the Bear at Cruise. I and
and being a
and
fan of my bands.
we all played their music, and it was just something that every time. I totally ignored what you just said, and I don't want to hear it again. Um, but the thing is though, is when you're at work, even on a bad day, and you're playing music on the radio that just makes you smile, that reminds you of like music that influenced you when you were younger. Um, it's a good day.
Yeah.
And Ozzy did that. Like he fought Parkinson's. He was dealing with stuff. I saw him when he was here last, Black Sabbath, and like and he was and it's funny because you're watching him and he's trying to make sure that he's doing like so he's at this mic and then he walks over to this mic and but it's planned and it's like but he never missed a note. And even dealing with the sickness that he dealt with, he gave everything he had. Like I saw a tribute to him dealing with his last concert, and th- everybody was afraid of him doing the last concert that he was going to stand up and try to, because the music moves him, he was going
Yeah.
to try to get right into it. Like they tied him down to the chair so that he didn't hurt himself. And like
How much he wanted to give.
it's because the music impassioned him. Like it was his passion. Like you know how when you're doing something and it just and you can't hold it back and you just have to give it all. And yeah, he when it comes to rock music icons, he's number one for me.
You know, yeah, it's not the time to argue about that, but he's definitely up there. Um, in terms of that. And like, when I was talking about it, I'm talking about his solo career, and like that was right about the time that guys like you and I were starting to buy our own music, and like basically suburban kids, um,
Yeah.
and um, like yeah, it's a little bit subversive, but the music was just so good. It really was.
But
And
and he can sing with anybody.
yeah, like somebody told me once that, and I don't dispute that it's scientifically proven or whatever, but that the sense that you most attribute to memory is smell. But for me, I equate some of the biggest moments in my life with music. Um, Not necessarily Ozzy, but um, like times in your life. And I think that's another way that he resonated is that there was a lot of guys like Eddie Van Halen in the '70s that were like learning licks off a vinyl and moving the needle back so they could learn that solo again, listening to Sabbath. And then guys like us that are like 20 years younger that are like, heard Bark at the Moon, in our suburban, you know, um, like um,
Yeah.
oases and and it resonated beyond generations. And again, don't don't sleep on Sharon Osbourne because there's there's people
She's a
20 years
brilliant
younger than
woman.
us that remember him from the show and maybe discovered the music after because holy shit, that stuff's timeless. But uh you know, not to take away from the man's contribution to the oeuvre of music, his cultural relevance was expertly crafted to endure beyond generations,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Favorite Ozzy or Sabbath tune? Do you have one?
Bark of the Moon.
Close My Eyes Forever with Lita Ford.
Oh, good choice. I think they got super high for that, and they did it in one take or something. I can't remember.
But they're like I for those who don't know, like I didn't stalk Lita Ford like I would have Shania Twain, but
It probably means he did.
I was a
It's not for
huge
nothing, everyone.
I was a huge fan of rocker like with women that led and bands, and Lita Ford was awesome, but the way they did that song. And they could do it live. I saw a video of them doing it live, not just the music video. Fan bloody tastic. It was huge. I've been
So
an Aussie fan. What's
So
that?
it so exemplifies the point I made earlier about Ozzy was like there. Like I said, nobody had any bad things to say about the man, and he was the rising tide that floated all the boats, that propelled metal into the Poison, Motley Crue. Like
Into the
that's
yeah, yeah, because it went
Caravans.
basically from yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it
you
went
name
from
them.
that to hair, and
Yeah, the
then
bands that are still
grunge,
current
and
today. I mean, not him
yeah,
alone, but not him alone,
but
but
he was a huge part.
well, like in terms of helping other people, like Lita Ford.
Yeah.
Like other people, and not just via inspiration, but propelling the brand, I guess, if you wanted to call that, you know. But yeah. Anyway, I don't want to belabor, but we already have.
Okay.
got
So we
to Ozzy.
so
Ozzy.
to Ozzy. Okay.
Cheers.
Okay. Then we'll. So not that long ago, we also like I think it was last week. Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away.
Yep.
If you don't know who he is, Theo from the Cosby Show, and he passed away due
Uh,
to drowning.
I saw him. I saw him really well on. I think it was Sneaky Pete. It's on Netflix now. It had Giovanni Ribisi is the star of that one, and like he's been
Sneaky
on,
Pete.
like what's that? Sneaky Pete.
Sorry, Sneaky Pete.
Yeah, it's called. And anyway, my point is that um, the Cosby Show in like the mid '80s was literally a cultural touchstone. So like there isn't anybody that grew up in the Michael Jackson era that didn't know who Theo Huxtable or Malcolm Jamal Warner was. But that's a very, very, very heavy weight for a young fella to carry. For like he's 15, 16, 17. I don't know how old he was, but
Yeah,
like
but he
not
was
very
there
old.
for several seasons, and
Yeah,
he
and
became
but
a man on that show.
yeah, but my point is that um, when you consider that, I mean, the classic metaphor, what goes up must come down. And it's like you're on the biggest TV show in the world and you haven't even really become an adult yet. I mean, where else do you go, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, to truly credit that fella, like there's other shows that I've seen that he's been in, but I remember his performance as Sneaky Pete. And the point is that he had no trouble going to work every day, whether it be as a guest star, or a supporting cast guy, or whatever the case is. But every time I saw him on the big screen or the small screen, um, I was impressed by his chops and the characters that he played, and they were all somewhat similar. And I don't know, I don't think it was typecasting. I think that he was a decent dude. Not that you know
I
him.
no, no, but the thing is though is because I know where you're going from. If he was very personable, he was relatable. He like some of the stuff in the early Cosby years was fantastic, and then as he got older, it he seemed like a guy that you would go and walk up to and have a conversation with.
Yeah,
Like
and I think that I guess
that's the
that's
kind of guy he portrayed himself as.
I think that what you're saying is exactly kind of pushing my point forward a little bit. Is that it's not easy to be like a star in the biggest show in the world, and then you know I mean you could have gone back to school and become a plumber, or whatever. But it takes a lot of humility for a guy, but it takes a lot of humility and specifically talent for a guy to go from that to like literally like almost a 40-year career working in the same business. Um, if and acquiring the respect of your peers and getting the jobs and being good enough to get the jobs and to stay in that business for as long as he did. And like who knows, maybe his next one would have been even bigger. Who knows? But um, I think those are all virtues that we can aspire to, and like God bless him.
Yeah, it's like the thing is he was a huge loss, and it's there are people that you will have memories of, like where you're saying, oh, he passed away, and you remember just like a scene from a show that he was in, like when you were a kid and stuff like that, and it does hit home for
Yeah,
you. And but there was another passing that actually
Chuck
took
Mangione,
place.
Chuck Mangione and his beloved flugelhorn. Um, during like the
Okay, you
yacht
have
rock,
to explain this to me because you tried to explain this to me the other time. And who's Chuck Mangione?
Chuck Mangione is a trumpet, well, flugelhorn player. He's also a trumpet player. I mean, brass. Brass is
Yeah,
brass. But like he primarily like a flugelhorn. So like um, if you ever listen to Miles Davis in like the '70s, when he played a lot of muted trumpet, but you always knew it was him. I think that you always knew it was him when he did like kind of blue, or like when you hear a piano and you know it's Bruce Hornsby. Chuck Mangione and his flugelhorn, like his shit. It's a stupid name, I know, but anything that you heard in the I don't know, like late '70s, early '80s that featured Chuck Mangione, you knew it was him, and he's like one of the rare um, like instrument players that like solely instrument players that actually got their instrumentals to like Billboard top 10, and he did it more than once. I mean, even Grover Washington with just the two of us, like uh, he needed help. He had a singer, like um, I'm thinking of Lee Ritenour too, like like I think it was Bill Withers with Grover Washington when they did just the two of us, just the two of us. Um, and Lee Ritenour, is it you? Elvin Bishop, he had Mickey Hart from or is it Mickey Thomas from Starship? Where like yeah, you're a virtuoso in your instrument, and there's nobody in the industry that's ever going to deny how good you are at what you do. But the A&R guys back in the day go, we can't sell this unless there's a singer. And Chuck Mangione said, "Fuck you! I'm going to play this song, and people are going to like it." And they did. And he advanced that for like obviously like brass players, but just that idea of the instrumental and like people like Chris Body, um, David Sanborn. Um, I mean, countless others. Kenny G. Um, I mean, just we're able
Steve
to.
Vai.
Steve Vai, yeah, sure. You know what? You could make that argument, 100%. I mean, Jeff Beck had been doing it a long time. Joe Sat, but um, anyway, the point is that to have the courage to do that and to like actually produce results and be that good, buy a Chuck Mangione album, like on my advice, or stream or whatever, and you won't be disappointed because really, like we hear we want to hear lyrics, but what you're really listening for is melody, and he had it in spades. So God bless Chuck Mangione. Yeah, Candy Dulfer.
So, so,
It's another one. Sorry.
so our last loss of the week that we need to touch on is none other than Hulk frickin' Hogan. He was one of the big superstars of the WWF, WWE, NCW, ACW. Like he was well known in the wrestling world. Are you listening to me, brother? Like he was that guy. Like and the thing is I remember like and I've seen it. I remember seeing it as a kid. It was when he body slammed Andre the frickin' Giant. Like and Andre was like 400. He was huge. He was a giant, and Hulk actually said that if in interview I saw, if Andre didn't want him to lift him up, it wouldn't have happened.
Of course, yeah.
So I'm hoping they're partying in the sky. Both great men, and and with the fact that he was a professional wrestler, and I'm kind of a mini wrestler, and
Oh, you're a wrestler.
here's
No, you're no Jimmy. You are a professional wrestler, and you owe a
Yeah,
lot
but
to.
I'm a mini. I'm a mini. I'm
You
I'm
know,
not a
bud.
Hulk Hogan. I'm not
You
I'm
know,
not
bud.
like shirt unless I cut it in 27 different places. Um, but yeah, here's the Hulk Hogan, and he influenced wrestling in so many different ways, and
Like really,
like
really, really.
I saw a tribute to him where they did the salutes like in wrestling they always when a wrestler dies they do the bell salute, and
It's awesome.
it's it's here's to a legend. And if you haven't seen any of his movies, you have to watch Mr. Nanny. Or yeah,
Rocky three.
it's but here's the
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan.
The Rock actually had a really nice thing, because like you gotta agree with me on this. I think that like so much of what propelled wrestling, especially in those early days, like the one with Andre the Giant, I think that was WrestleMania 13. That was in 1984, if I'm not mistaken. And I could be wrong. You can check it out on your little.
I I Yeah, I'm checking
Um,
because it was I'm thinking it was four.
it could be. I could be wrong. Anyways, like what a multi-billion-dollar brand that's become, and largely because of the efforts of a guy like that to really put it on the map, to resonate with people. He uh, he solicited the help of Rick Derringer, who played on a few Steely Dan tracks. Little nod to Rick Derringer for that. Um, uh, and to
You
do
would
the "I Am
Steely
a Leader"
down. I'm
anthem.
sorry.
It's like it's crazy. It's like I long for the times, and I'm not even American, where a guy can put out like an "I Am a Real American" song, a song called "I Am a Real American," and that espouse nothing but patriotism and capture the hearts and minds of like over 100 million Americans and propel a fledgling national brand to like international prominence. My goodness, what a personality, what a man. Um, you know, you can talk about his politics as long and all day and as much as you want. Um, but he was in the entertainment business, and it'd be hard to argue um, that like there were more people like that there were more people that advanced the cause of the industry to which they belong more than he did. So, have you
uh,
figured that out yet, Jerky?
no, I haven't.
Really?
No, I haven't.
Really?
But yeah, I have issues. But but the
Where do
thing
we
is
start?
though is
Oh, you're right. What did you think it was? WrestleMania? What? Five? Four?
either I said three. I
Yeah,
thought three.
maybe that's why I said 13 because of the three. It was three. You're right. Jimmy's right,
Because, hey,
but it was in before.
because they actually it was shortly after that they had a WrestleMania, like they had a WWE cartoon where the wrestlers were superheroes. Um, like
Yeah,
basically like the A Team, but it
how
was
awesome is
wrestling.
that? But like you
But
can't.
you know he and he was one of the first guys in the WWE to get into movies. Now they're all getting into it.
Yeah,
Like
but
and
I don't think like with. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. He was one of the first guys.
he was one of the first. And some of the movies that he did were made for TV and they were kind of cheesy and they were but he did it. And then came I think The Rock was the next big one.
Uh, yeah, like I mean, as far as wrestling guys, there's John Cena, but I think The Rock preceded him.
Oh yeah, The Rock was way before John Cena.
But I don't like, let's not beat this horse dead. But I will say this that online somewhere, I'm sure it won't be hard for folks to find. But one of the people I follow on Twitter reposted a thing from The Rock, wherein The Rock um, highlighted meeting Hulk Hogan when he was like 12 or something, and how Hulk Hogan inspired him, and how that led him to become who he was in the wrestling world. And it was really like, uh, as far as tributes go, obviously it meant a lot to him, but in terms of like paying it forward, like I said, with Ozzy and guys like that, that part of something bigger, but that inspire other people to do greater things. Um, I'm an ambitious guy, and believe me, I would never for 1 minute think that anything I've done will endure much beyond anything. But the idea that you can, um, establish a big enough footprint that you inspire other people to do better than you, wow, right? Like that's pretty awesome. So yeah, that
Good on him.
yeah,
Here's to the Hulk.
Hulkster to the Hulkster.
Hulkamania, baby. So I think we should call it good. That is the bald of it shorter. Holy shit. I can't
Oh
be
my
that. I
goodness,
can't be that drunk.
you
Oh
all right
wait.
over there?
Oh dude, oh, that's an 8%.
Is
I
that one of the
drank an
ones?
8%.
Did you grab that from my house? Because Howard left some heavy
No,
coffee.
no, it's 7.2%, but it's a filthy, dirty IPA. It's, parallel 49. And, oh, when it hits, it hits.
Right?
Oh,
Well, listen, brother. That was like, listen, brother.
hey,
uh,
brother.
That was a really fun time. Thanks again, Jimmy. Love you, bro.
Okay, here's the bald of it, bald and short of it podcast. I am Jimmy. That's Mooney. He's bald. I'm short. We're still drinking. Have a great night.